Introduction. Hi, everyone. Once again, you are in Building Your AI Literacy Toolkit. And for the recording, my name is Tiffany Messer-Bass, and I'm the Electronic Resources and Systems Librarian at Lenore University. Just wanted to give you a little bit about myself. I've got way too many degrees. I got my MLS from East Carolina University, and then I got my education specialist from App State. Um, I did study abroad and got a master's in comparative literature from University of Kent in the UK. And I am now in the middle of earning my education doctorate at Loyola University Chicago. And if you have any questions, I wanted to provide my contact information here at the beginning. If you miss it, it's okay. It will be at the end as well. There's a lot of information today. Just like Devin said, don't feel like you have to write everything down. Everything today is going to be available to you. There will be a lot of examples to pour through as you're building your own AI literacy toolkit. So just take what works for you, leave what doesn't. But if you have any questions as you're viewing that, you know, after the presentation, feel free to email me. I can answer any questions you may have. So we're going to cover 4 really big learning outcomes today that do scaffold on one another. I'm going to start with resources for each type of location. And now some of those will overlap. I'll explain that in a bit. And then doing a needs assessment. I talk a bit about doing internal assessments and external assessments and kind of what things to look for as you're building your AI literacy toolkit. Then we'll get into the assembly, maybe a format, looking at what works best for your community. And then finally, how you want to share that out and share that information that you've not only learned today, but explored on your own as well. So we'll go ahead and I want to really express why this is important. You know, every librarian is an educator. I don't care what building you are in, academic, public, special library, we're all educators. So here's why it's important though. The World Economic Forum produced a report last year projecting that AI will create 170 million jobs in the next decade. Educators from Columbia and from teaching AI literacy across the curriculum both indicate that collaborative learning communities and mentorship and having that skill development among educators is where we are going to come in. We're going to have to lead the way for others, as we've always done. And I don't think libraries will become obsolete. Not now, not ever. We've been champions of literacy since 300 BCE, and we've gone through so many societal changes. If we got through dial-up internet and Google, we're going to get through this too. It's just that we have to adapt to it like we did everything else. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to adapt and change and move on. But we're still going to be stewards of knowledge and information. I've noticed that a lot of colleges and universities, including Lenore Ryan, have launched AI literacy, and they're adopting that into their curriculums. Something that we have coming this fall, a micro-credential that all students can gain is in learning AI skills. So, and this is a result of hearing from companies that hire our students that they want new graduates to have those AI literacy skills. And if we want to ensure ethical and responsible use, we lead by example. Again, this is not news to you. This is what we've always done. But it's already part of our policies globally, and it's going to become even more ingrained with time. So that's why it's important. I'm glad you're here today, and I hope you can take something away from this. Some keywords that I think everyone should have in their toolkit, and I include these in every presentation because these are the top 2 keywords that you're going to encounter in everyday life. So artificial intelligence is technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human learning, so on and so on. And simulate is our word here. It is not a replacement. And this is from IBM. They have a lot of excellent free AI courses as well, from basics to chatbots, whatever your level is. That's a great free resource. Algorithm, you may hear your students say, I've curated this algorithm and my TikTok FYP is perfect because I've curated my algorithm. All that they are saying, an algorithm is simply a set of instructions that is designed to accomplish a task. So I want you to imagine, take the word algorithm out and replace it with recipe. A recipe is a set of instructions designed to bake a cake. An algorithm, you are giving it the set of instructions about yourself, what you like, what you care about, and so on. So algorithms will take those inputs that you are giving it, run them through a series of steps, and you're going to get your curated TikTok FYP, those random videos that you get on your social media that you're like, wow, I was just thinking about that today. Is my phone listening to me? Yeah, probably. Um, but essentially, your algorithm wants to reflect as much of your personality as possible because it wants to reflect things that you like back to you. When it does that, you're going to think about where you shop, where you're going to spend your money, and again, what causes you care about. That's your algorithm. Those two work together. These are the two keywords that I believe should be in every toolkit. All right. So I'm going to start us off with a little Mentimeter, and I just kind of want to know for where everybody is from. Are you public, academic, K-12, other type of library? So I've got a Mentimeter, and I want to hear where you all are visiting from. So menti.com, there's our code, or you can scan the QR code. And our responses coming in. Okay, public and academic overwhelmingly. Community college, perfect. Got some things for you too. I put you under academic in my slides. Okay, looks like we have a couple more people. A few more coming in. I'll give it a few more seconds. Okay, looks like an overwhelmingly academic crowd today, which is perfect. I still see some people popping in. Devin, do you want me to give it a few more seconds?
Yeah, I feel like just
Yeah.
maybe 20 seconds more. I just dropped the Menti code in the chat.
Okay. I'll give it about 30 more seconds. The word academic keeps getting a lot bigger. That's helpful though. Okay. All right. It looks like most folks are academic and public. I would say just about split down the middle. So thank you so much. I kind of know how to tailor things now. So appreciate your feedback. If you didn't get to vote and you want to, you can put your location in the chat. For the sake of time, I am going to move on, but I appreciate your responses. Mhm. So we will start with our public libraries. So like I said, this is that list of resources that may help you get started depending on what your community is wanting or needing. So Public Library Association has an information literacy page. NC Live has many tutorials. The one that I'm linking here is for the ProQuest Research Assisted tutorial. We're going to take a look at a couple of these others. I also like to include Google courses because they are free for anyone new to AI, or if you even want to build your skills. I believe you just have to audit the course. Um, no, that's Khan Academy. We'll get to that in a moment. So Google should just be, you click the link, go straight there, get what you need. North Carolina Central, I won't go over their LibGuide today, but I wanted to shout out, especially if anyone is here from Central, that it is well done and is a fantastic example. If you kind of want a side-by-side comparison while you're building your own LibGuide, it's really well done. Good definitions, good ethics, lots of good explanations. So definitely check them out. IMLS has current practices report that is regularly updated. And then there's a list of AI resources for seniors. That is one that we'll take a look at today. So this resource list for seniors, the top two things are from AARP, and they sort of have these technology courses and AI courses for older populations. Even if you maybe don't end up using them in your LibGuide, I do think they would be valuable to kind of keep in your back pocket. And I am not tooting my own horn. You do not have to use this, but I wanted to plug my past NC Live presentation, Teaching AI Literacy as Civic Literacy. I did this presentation for the NC Live conference back in May, and this kind of gets into how you can work one-on-one with your patrons, your students, and all the elements of AI literacy, ethics and practice, et cetera, et cetera. So that might be a good resource. Just put it there again, not tooting my own horn, but this presentation is kind of built from that one. So they do kind of pair well together. So let's take a look at a couple of our public library resources. Um, the Southern Tier Library System, I think that was the third link on there. I really enjoy their information literacy LibGuide. So they have several webinars from YouTube. They even have podcasts, AI email newsletters, and blogs, and they've linked their titles on Libby. That is absolutely brilliant. What is AI? I feel like everyone should define it. They've done this really well. They have great links and even a little cheat sheet. And why AI in public libraries, if that is something you want to look more into, read more about, these were great links. And then concerns. So I love to see, and I encourage this for yours as well, the pros and cons of AI. So I love when there's kind of this neutral standpoint of, yes, here are the ethical dilemmas. We're going to talk about copyright. Here are the impacts, but here's what it's good for if you use it the right way. And I just feel like they've done a very good job with that. So these are a lot of tools that you may want to tap into. And this one is just a short PDF, but this is from the Bipartisan Policy Center. And this is sort of in response to those 170 million expected jobs. So the AI 101 workforce PDF talks about reskilling, automation, upskilling, and augmentation. I know I've had to learn new sets of skills as I go. I think a lot of us could agree that learning AI, and I've been building study bots, and these are not things that I thought I would have done as a librarian. And that's kind of happening across most careers. So even if you're applying for a job, you're going through AI recruitment screening. It's in quality control, content drafting and summarization. I think we can all speak to some kind of AI experience with documents and reports and synthesizing large data sets of information. So I want to draw your attention to this in particular. The top three sectors, our very top sector is information at 30%. So that's going to be us. Um, that's business use of AI, most prominent in high wage, knowledge based sectors. And another reason why I think we should be proactive rather than reactive. But yep, definitely love this. I think this would be good for an academic library too. I also teach our career readiness course here at LR, and this is one of my favorite PDFs to use when I'm teaching my students. Finally, this is that list of AI classes and resources for older adults. It was updated this year. And the top two are from AARP, the senior planet-free AI classes. The OATS, Older Adults Technology Services from AARP. And they've also included on the list webinars, a course with Boise State University, and so on and so on. A lot of these are introduction courses, helping people get started and understanding, again, the pros and cons, the ethics, your like how to protect your privacy and your data. Very much worth keeping on hand. All right, let's go back to our academic libraries. Again, I've linked that in C Central. AI LibGuide that's helpful for, it was certainly helpful for me, and I want to give them all the credit. We'll look at an example from AB Tech, their LibGuide for students. Susan Toole gave me a wealth of information on AB Tech's approach to AI, especially AI in the library. So I've attached her LibGuide for students and faculty, and fantastic job. She's done some great work at AB Tech. UNC Charlotte, their student academic integrity policy is folded in to include AI now. And we'll talk a bit. I don't know if I included that one, but I, again, want you to pay attention to the language when you do look at that one. It's very interesting. Purdue OWL, the online writing lab has continued to grow and change over time, especially, gosh, too many years ago when I was an undergrad learning beginner's research myself. So now you can go to a page to cite AI generated content. I will show you that today. If you subscribe to Springer, Springer Nature has AI tools for researchers. Again, NC Live tutorials, and Google Cloud has a prompt engineering guide. This has been fun to do with students, and it's been a good guide for them to prompt effectively, prompt without sharing private information, and getting the results that they want out of the transaction. So let's take a look at a couple of those examples. So here's that AB Tech LibGuide that Susan has put together. It's very clean. I really like it. I love her library links. Her campus links are all here, but then we have our introduction, our history of AI. She's got a PBS documentary, and how to use. So how to write clear and concise prompts, how to use ChatGPT. And I'm not asking you to be an AI expert. If you genuinely don't know something, do feel free to put a YouTube video in here just like this. And it could be a time thing as well. Maybe you don't have the time to put together a whole video on ChatGPT. Use your outside resources. This is very well done. AI tools for staff and students that are used on campus. She gets into ethics, intellectual property and copyright, and you know I love a pro-con, the AI debate. She talks about academic honesty and citations, even has a citation guide. Um, and again, I won't go too much deeper into this, but very much worth checking out. There's one for faculty as well. Um, oh, looks like that's not going to go. That's all right. I was about finished anyway. Okay, Purdue University, I was talking about the online writing center. This is their LibGuide for how to cite AI generated content. So they have this broken down to APA, MLA, Chicago, and IEEE. They go into prompt design, ethics, research, very similar to Susan's guide. Well, AI tools. Yeah, so they have, this beautiful graph where you can compare the different tools. Here at LR, we use Copilot. We're a Microsoft campus, so we're using this the most. We see students using Chat GPT and increasingly more Gemini. And then there are a couple of populations that really love Claude. So I love this information accuracy, the style, and so on. This is a great chart. All right. Oh, that. Okay, and I know we don't have, at least from the Mentimeter, I didn't see anyone from K-12 libraries, but I do feel that some of these could overlap depending on your community population. A lot of these definitely overlap with public libraries. We have a program here at LR for elementary education. So I do think there's still some valuable things to take a look at here. Common Sense Media has a couple of AI literacy toolkits. One is for families and one is for middle and high grades. The Oak Ridge Institute, this is a really nice interactive AI resource book that we'll take a look at in a moment. I also want to take your attention to School AI. They have age appropriate activities for elementary school. I got to put Google there again. There's some lesson plans and activities for teaching responsible AI use. UNC Charlotte has a couple of great links on classroom strategies and visual literacy for AI. And copyright.gov is one of my favorite sources. They do have copyright activities for kids, and it's just really nice to teach kids about copyright first because that scaffolds well into teaching them about AI and ethical use of those types of materials. Here's the one from Common Sense Media. It's they have videos, the family activity guides, and I want to show you one of these. So this is the guide for video one. So here's the toolkit overview, how to explore AI as a family together. And they have these great conversation cards that you can use as your family works through the videos. So when do you use AI in your daily life? That's a question we can all answer right now. And it's sort of built around having an open conversation and a positive conversation on AI in everyday life and the pros and cons. Here is that Oak Ridge Institute. So they have this AI resource book for K-12 educators. You can navigate by task or by tool. So if you want to do lesson plan development, and then you would choose your tool, use ChatGPT, you get that direct information, very flexible for both student and teacher, specific prompts, and let me go back to the top. If you don't want to go by task, if you want to just look at a tool in general, they have the links for those right there on page 5. It's very well done, very interactive, and to me, even though I'm not in K-12 anymore, this helped me build my skill set for some of these that I never used before. And I am looking forward to bringing them into the classroom in some way. But yeah, check them out. SlidesGo is especially fun. And then I want to get into our special libraries again, even though we're mostly academic, these are all fantastic resources. The Library of Congress has AI experiments that have been done and also reports from the outcome of those experiments. If you know someone in a law library, the American Association of Law Libraries has this link specifically for ethical considerations in that niche area. Same for medical librarians. The Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center um, has excellent resources. They have another LibGuide that I love so much. The Responsible Artificial Intelligence Institute has policy templates, and Sage Journals also has policy information as well. Um, I've linked an article here. It is out of date, but I still felt like it was worth keeping in. So this article is about AI literacy funding, I believe 4.1 million for museums, libraries, etc. The deadline to apply was in March, but going back to that very first statistic, all those jobs that will be part of the workforce, um, I would look for that funding to show up again. So maybe this is worth bookmarking. It's definitely worth a read anyway. And finally, I wanted to highlight some NC Live resources. They're so kindly hosting me today, and Devin has worked hard on these tutorials. We'll look at Learning Express and ProQuest Research Assistant. That's probably the one that you're familiar with. And I also just wanted to point out that Films on Demand, if you search AI literacy, I believe gives you about 17 videos that um, are all a part of that topic. Masterfile Premiere, if you search AI literacy, in fact, this specific Boolean phrase without the quotation will give you articles and lots of info to work from. I think this one is especially good for incoming freshmen, um, first year college students, late high school, that are kind of getting their feet wet with beginner research. Oh, I was going to show you these. So the AI experiments with Library of Congress, you can see examples here. For example, the speech to text viewer, it's proof of concept tool, and then the reports from years past. So they got a lot of information here. And it's just really fun to see what some of these experiments are. Experimental ways of providing access to digital collections, experimental humans in the loop workflow. It was a lot of fun to read through these. This is that Memorial Sloan Kettering page. So these are tools specifically for medical libraries, healthcare, cancer research. So they've got some tools listed here, journals, their ebooks are linked, and again, very basics of what is generative AI, ethics and use, editorial and grantmaker guidelines, and so on. Oh, and they do have AI literacy workshops. If you feel comfortable doing that, I suggest that for your own communities, especially if you feel pretty comfortable with AI, even the basics. That is absolutely something um, I'd like to see more of, and I encourage you to do it. Learning Express Library, again, you know this well, just like ProQuest Research Assistant. I've signed your guest book like 3 times. You have your wonderful Devin up here. and your introduction, your individual sections. I would bookmark this if you get a lot of questions like we do about ProQuest Research Assistant, Learning Express as well. And those are linked. And like I said, I'm kind of glossing over these a bit because for the sake of time, but you will get to keep them. Now, your needs assessment. So I've shown you a lot of things that you could use, but maybe you don't need every single one of those things. So before you start building and getting ideas, assess what your community needs. So I want you to think about building the toolkit that your community is asking for rather than making an assumption. So some ideas for internal assessment, use your reference statistics, especially if you're logging technology questions separately. Um, Start gathering your frequently asked questions if you don't already, especially the ones on AI, beginner technology, and think about who is asking those questions the most. Is it seniors? Is it job seekers? Who is asking questions about AI the most? Your database usage, especially those databases with AI, um, are they used more than others? Has that usage increased in the past year? You know, ProQuest has Research Assistant now. EBSCO announced yesterday their AI implementation. I'm pretty sure ALA also sent an email yesterday about updating AI guidelines. So think about your database usage. If you have website analytics available, if you're able to see web traffic for how many times someone has visited a certain page, clicked a certain link, that's really helpful for your internal assessment. And also, if available, this one's kind of getting rare, but you may have the person that knows how to do this. Your search terms. You can see your top search terms, your top phrases that have been searched. If you have a way to get a hold of that, it's worth your while. And look at your program attendance. What are your communities coming to the most? And again, back to your frequently asked questions in your reference statistics, dig into old chats, dig into email transcripts, and start mapping out what you've already observed that your community is asking questions about, requesting things that they need. For your external assessment, look at your census data. Who lives in your community? For example, when I was a children's librarian in Durham County, my library was between an elementary school and a middle school. So we had just next door to us very large K-8 student populations. Community surveys and feedback, and I know people have survey fatigue right now. Seems everybody's got a survey. So even if it is just, would you like to see more AI programming in your library? Smiley face for yes, sad face for no. Take that feedback. It, make it as quick as possible because I know people are usually in a rush these days. But look at your community surveys. Really look at that feedback. Look at the workforce priorities, local and national. So we know that those jobs are going to increase. Those jobs are going to want AI literate candidates. Think about the companies, the organizations that make up your community. Who's hiring the most in your community? Who's the largest employer? Look at their job postings. What are they requiring candidates to have? And get into your community partnerships as well. Even if it doesn't seem like a community partner that uses a lot of tech, I would still bet that there's a chance that they still use it in their everyday work. Look at your community partnerships. How can you help each other? Is this sort of a situation where you could cross educate in the community? Um, can they host you? Can you host them? Et cetera, et cetera. Local school needs. Yeah, work with your local schools, your K 12, see what they're being taught, especially in academic libraries. You know, we have a high school that's on campus here as well. And it's really heartening to see what type of research those students are doing because some of those students do enroll at LR once they graduate. And I have a good assessment for what they've already learned, what I can add to their education, and think about what resources they might need. And of course, your policy needs. Does your location need a policy in the first place? If you already have one in place, how can you do programming, library instruction sessions that meet that policy? And I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. So here are some questions to sort of ask yourself as you're putting your toolkit together. Who is asking about AI? Again, is it older generations, younger generations, job seekers? Who's asking? And what kind of questions are they asking? What kind of problems do they want to solve? What misconceptions keep appearing? Are you seeing the same question often about perhaps someone got a piece of misinformation from AI and they keep repeating it? What misconceptions do you feel you need to address? What groups are undereducated and underserved? How can you best meet their needs? How can you bring them into your space and interact with AI in a positive, ethical way? And what skills are people requesting? That goes back to, tapping into your local community. Look at jobs, look at if you're helping someone look for a job in a public library, or if you are working with university students that are about to go out into the world, what skills are they going to need to know? And what skills are people requesting to know more about? So I've put together this AI reference interview, just questions for the community. How much do you want to accomplish? Or sorry, what do you want to accomplish? How much do you know about AI already? That way you're not over teaching. How much do you want me to help? I'm an independent learner. I want you to get me to the page and then I want to go off on my own and figure it out. And how do you want me to help? Do you want me to take over and do it for you because you're in a rush? Or do you want me to take a back seat and get you to the place you need to be? And why do you want to use AI for this task? Is it research? Is it reliable research? Are you having it look at your resume? What's your goal? Right. So we're going to do another quick Mentimeter, and I want to know what questions you have been asked at your location about AI. So let me get that going. And I'm going to give it a couple minutes. So there's that QR code, menti.com, 78576981. Let's get our responses. Resume help? Yes. I'm not seeing all my responses. How to use an AI tool. Maybe it just takes a minute. What tools the library subscribes to? Okay. Positive uses, great. Basic troubleshooting, effectiveness. So it looks like a lot of basics. Ooh, using for literature reviews, very good. What is it? I don't know where to start. Grammar. Okay. I catch students using AI. Sounds like a faculty question. Teaching students not to rely on AI. Faculty have asked about when if we offer workshops on the topic policy. We'll talk about that a bit. Using AI for evidence, faculty have asked. Okay. Still rolling in. What is AI and how to use it? What tools will students actually need in employment? And that is going to depend on the employer too. Ethics, yeah. I'll give it about another 30 seconds. Again, I know I'm moving a little fast for the sake of time. So if you don't see your answer pop up or you don't get a chance, do put it in the chat. I will certainly take a look at it. Could it take our jobs? Safe to say no. Environmental costs, that's a big one. I search for this person to see what items they have available. I searched for a couple things yesterday from our community libraries, and it's saying that they offer programs that they actually don't offer. So good catch. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move on. These are great questions. I think I see where most of you are definitely working with the basics, and that is great. Okay, so here are some questions that we've been asked at LR. I've just been jotting them down for the past year. What is our AI policy? How do I use the research assistant in ProQuest? My favorite one, can you turn off the research assistant in ProQuest? Can you talk about AI ethics and responsible use in library information sessions? When is it okay to use AI? Is AI going to take your job? No, it's not going to take our jobs, I promise. Um, and some of our key to success has been collaboration. We have a very healthy, open minded community here at LR. For example, our Center for Teaching and Learning director, she is an AI whiz. She helps with AI training. She makes study bots and helps faculty incorporate AI in appropriate ways. Hopefully, we got some planned future workshops coming this fall. And I'm hoping that I can do some demo sessions with our faculty through CTL. Faculty. So when I schedule library instruction sessions, I always share out my slides and ask that faculty member if they want me to remove my AI slides. No one has ever said no because they're focused on responsible use and ethics. And I can show you how I tailor my slides when I get to my LibGuide. Policymakers, at LR, the AI policy is that faculty should have one in their syllabi. It's up to the instructor what that AI policy is. So I'll show you my LibGuide for some guidance there. And we work with the broader community here at LR. If you have a Catawba County public library card or a Hickory City public library card, you can check books out from our collection as well. And we have a collaboration this fall where our CTL director and I are going to be doing some AI literacy workshops. We're very excited about that at the Hickory Library. So getting into our last bit here, assembly. No two libraries are going to be the same. We don't have the same communities. You're all going to each assemble your toolkits to meet your individual community needs. Here are some possible components. I starred the ones that are the most used. So AI basics, that's including your vocabulary, how to get started. And I also highlighted ethics and privacy resources and copyright. You really, really, really want to drive that home as much as you can. Protect your data, protect your privacy, but still feel confident in using the AI tools. Um, I would include image resources. They're a lot of fun for students in library information sessions when you have them look at a picture and figure out if it's AI or not. They really love finding people with like six fingers on one hand, that kind of thing. Research guides, productivity tools, accessibility is very important. Your policies should be front and center, and then build your toolkit around that. And of course, your frequently asked questions. So the way that I prioritize things is I look at what's a high need first. So these are things based off the questions that I've been getting, questions that students are asking about the usage. Um, if it's a tool or something that you want to put together that's a high need and does not take a lot of effort, focus on that first. If it's a high need, high effort, maybe that's something that you plan and partner with to accomplish that. For the low needs, whether it's low or high effort, I suggest optional or skipping it for now. Get the basic information out first, and you can go back and tweak it, make things bigger and better later. We will look at this example from Vanderbilt. This is their AI literacy toolkit. They made it a research guide. So they have their welcome to the toolkit. For their faculty, they have these fantastic lesson plans, presentation slides, handouts, competencies for students. It is really faculty forward, and I like that. Activities, you've got worksheets, detecting AI, a card sort, a guessing game, essay feedback. Their graphics are fantastic. Why should I use AI? Why shouldn't I? You know I love a neutral LibGuide already, external resources, and their contact information. That's very important. And then, I believe, yeah, we're going to get to mine. So my LibGuide, this is what I have for our AI resource toolkit. Your introduction, the AI basics, I've got some basic vocab here. I will add more to that. I keep finding new things I want to add every day. So we've got, I highlight my sources, where people can take free courses to learn the AI basics. I've plugged our NC Live resources. This was a page that I'd already done last year, so it was nice to just update and keep it. And then I break it down into faculty resources, teachers prompt guide, and our Canvas link to CTL with the AI policy for the syllabi. I add my copyright.gov, lots of different things, and of course, the crash course on ProQuest. Some of these double over to students as well. I've got from Rutgers, the What to Know About Generative AI Advice for Students. My library information session slides are here if you want to take a look at them later, citations, and our databases and so on. Okay, we ought to be pretty close to done here. So when you think about promoting your toolkit, what is important to your community? How do they access your materials? For us, a LibGuide was perfect. So for marketing, you could do a LibGuide, add a link to your website, build a website. We've had success with QR codes, infographics, and handouts, especially in our sessions. If you want to build that out into a program, here's some programming ideas. Again, it sounds like we're all starting at the basics with our particular communities. So AI 101 for job seekers, students, seniors, you can do a prompt writing workshop, AI image detection. That's fun for all ages. I still love doing that. And ethical AI. I do believe that everyone, faculty, staff, should know where the AI toolkit is and how to use it. Again, ours is easy. We had the LibGuide in place. I just had to update it. But you can use it for training as well. Finally, every end of the semester, every 6 months or so, evaluate your toolkit. Is it working? So track your page views, QR code scans, however you're tracking those site visits. You can monitor whether AI-related reference questions become more specific or sophisticated over time, which means you're doing a really good job with those basics. Do your stats, your attendance, repeat participation, repeat questions, do your surveys, and just update that. Like I said, at the end of the semester, every few months, just make a point to go through, click all the links, be sure all those links still work, retire your outdated resources, add new tools, policies, and guidance. And that impact, look for that evidence that the people you're helping are using it more confidently and responsibly. All right, that is it for me. Thank you so much for listening to me yammer on today. I will go ahead and take your questions.
Feel free to add, or Christina, if you have your hand raised, if you want to unmute. And feel free to submit questions in the chat. Christina, I can't hear you. I can see you're unmuted.
And Christina, if you can't connect, please email me, tiffany.messer-bass@lr.edu. I'll be happy to help you.
Yeah, so Christina's sharing what boundaries are people setting around what they will and won't support.
So yeah, I think that comes up the most in my library instruction sessions because, we work with different classes, different departments, everybody's got a different policy in their syllabus. So I will ask for a copy of their syllabus and share my work with them and say, hey, is it okay that we talk about AI, or are you completely no AI class? Um, so far, no one has been completely anti AI, but I will tell you that if they were, I would just simply take those slides out of my presentation. Um, that's their class. It's not for me to take over. And I've also been hardened by students coming in with their own boundaries. Um, it's been slowly getting better as they're getting used to this new AI world. So they will come in and say, hey, I I did this with Chat GPT, but I want to be sure it's right. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the honesty. And I found that people are open with their boundaries from the get go. They'll tell you what they want to do, how they want to accomplish it. And as long as you are teaching them the ethical and responsible way, that's going to be a fantastic interaction. I hope that answers your question. Let me know if it didn't.
We have a question that came in
Mhm.
from Kyle. We're watching as a group here at Wake Forest. One of us is asking where the LR micro credential came from.
So it's actually a program that's going to be available in fall 2026. I might be able to Google that for you. And I was actually the one that asked the question about this. So AI Foundations micro credential course. So any of our students can take it. It's an 8-week. If you just want that credential, you can just do the $500 credential. When we had kind of our town hall about this, I asked what thought process went into this, and they came back with our local community, the people that hire most of our students, are these are the skills that they want. This was one of many micro credentials that they would want students to have. So AI fluency, right here becoming a core workforce skill. So this is pretty new to me and to others, but it began March 3rd. But I know that this incoming class of students, of the 4 micro credentials, including this one on AI, they are hoping that all students will graduate with, you know, at least some micro credentials to take into the workforce with them.
Any other questions? Feel free to send them in the chat. I do want to share our August discussion for our AI community of practice. The registration will be added to our calendar this week, but I'll include it in the chat. Our next discussion will be with Michelle Rodell, who's the head of the Health Science Library at UNC. So if you're looking for more AI related programming and really just want to get into something that's a little bit more discussion based, that's something that we're offering in a few weeks.
Any other questions?
So good to see people in the chat sharing that this was helpful and sparked some ideas.
Good, I'm glad.
Let's see, is there anything else? All right. If folks do not have any questions, please reach out to Tiffany via email. I'll include her email address in the follow up that I'm sending tomorrow, along with the slide deck, feedback survey, and recording. In that feedback survey, please let me know future directions for AI offerings or even other topics relevant to librarianship that you'd like the training program to cover. I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday afternoon. And Tiffany, thank you so much for guiding through this plethora of information and documents and really breaking it down.
Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
All right, take care, everybody.